guys, and welcome back to another story time, where we are going to continue reading Vampire Kisses by Ellen Shreiber. We are on chapter 6, Exposed. And if you have not seen chapters 1 through 5, you should probably check it out, or you're not going to understand what's going on in this chapter, and so on and so forth. So, anyways, let's begin. Chapter 6, Exposed. The story of Naked Trevor spread immediately through Dolesville High. Some students said he stumbled into Matt's house in a trash bag diaper. Others said he was found passed out naked on the back lawn. No one had a clue I was involved. Only Trevor Boyd knew the real story. Apparently, he tried to pass it off to his buddies as an encounter with the cheerleader. Either way, everyone got a laugh. Trevor left me alone. He wouldn't even make eye contact with me. Gothic Girl had finally gotten the goods on the popular soccer snob. But I didn't want him to accuse me of theft. I had to give his clothes back, right? First, there was the shoe. I think it was the left. I strung it on the outside of my locker. At first, no one seemed to notice the hanging loafer. Those who finally did looked at it and walked on. But the next morning it was gone. One person had noticed it. Now it was time for others to take notice besides good old Trevor. The right brown loafer was strung up in the same fashion, but next to it was a sign. "Missing something, Trevor?" This time I heard giggles as students passed. They didn't realize whose locker it was, but they'd soon be catching on. Each day a sock would hang out, or a t-shirt. I started noticing snob girls who would never talk to me suddenly look over at algebra with smiling approval. They had been Trevor Tree girls, promised everything with nothing to show for it. Well, I had plenty to show. By the time his khaki pants were hung out, completely with grass stains and dirt, everyone knew whose locker it was. Now kids in the hall were grinning at me. Guys weren't exactly asking me out, but I was suddenly popular, in a quiet kind of way. Except, of course, with Trevor. But I felt safe. Now that everyone knew whose locker it was, he would be the prime suspect if anything happened to me. But he did make the odd threat. "I'll kick your butt, monster," he said one day. He grabbed my jaw in his hands when Becky and I were starting to walk home. "Combat boots hurt more than loafers, Neanderthal," I shot back. Oops. My face was pressed between his hands. "Let her go," Matt said, pulling him away. I could see even Matt had enjoyed my prank. I'm sure he got tired of the Trevor attitude sometimes. After all, he was stuck being Trevor's best friend. "You'll never be anything more than a freak," Trevor shouted. Fortunately, Matt pulled him away again. I didn't feel like going to battle after a long day at school. "You just wait! You just wait!" he called back to me. "I talked to my lawyer," I yelled, secretly hoping I wasn't going to need a plastic surgeon instead. Time for the grand finale. Lots of students were gathered around my locker. I even saw a freshman taking pictures. It was the climax everyone had been waiting for. Trevor's white Calvin Klein underwear, hot glued to my locker. The sign underneath read, "White is for virgins, right, Trevor?" It would be up there for a while. Everyone saw it, I mean everyone. "Raven, you defaced school property," Principal Smith scolded me later that day. I had been in Principal Smith's office so many times, it was like seeing an old friend. "Those lockers have been there forever," Frank replied. "Those lockers have been there forever, Frank," I replied. "Maybe it's time you tell the school board we need new ones." "I don't think you see the seriousness involved here, Raven. You ruined a locker and embarrassed an honors student." "What honor?" Ask your straight-A cheerleaders and half the drill team how many times he's embarrassed them. Principal Smith rattled his pencils in frustration. We need to get you involved in something, Raven. Some club you can belong to. Something that will help you make friends. The chess club have any openings? Or how about the math club? I asked sarcastically. There are other activities. Can you guarantee me a spot on the cheerleading squad? Of course, I'd have to wear a black pleated skirt. That's one you have to try out for, but I bet you'd be great. Obviously, honor students like Trevor really respect cheerleaders. Raven, high school is hard for most kids. That's just the way it is. Even the people who look as though they don't feel they belong. But you have so much going for you. You're imaginative. You're smart. You'll figure it out. Just don't damage any more lockers while you're trying to find the answers. Sure, Frank, I said, taking the detention slip. See you soon. Not too soon, okay, Raven? I'll try not to work you too hard, I said, and closed the door. The next day, I noticed something on my locker that I hadn't put up. In black paint was written, "Raven is a horror." I smiled. Very clever, Trevor. Very clever. I felt warm inside. It was the first time he had ever complimented me. Wow, that was a short chapter, but that is the end of chapter 6. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah. I hope you liked it, and if you did, smash the like button. I don't know what else to say. Oh, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And bye. Ow.